Ah, there we have it. It looks like the stream is starting. Hey, that's good stuff. I know we're just a little bit early right now, so hang in there with me just a few minutes while I get everything prepped up. I'm going to go quiet for just a second. All right, look at that. It's 8 o'clock. I think that we're live right now, so that's good. Um, so for those of you that are coming and joining, just welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the Corvus Cast. My name's Tim, the host of this adventure and journey on all these looks at all these things that are shiny and fun. Um, I hope that you had a good couple of weeks off and are coming back refreshed and interested in what sort of saber things that I have in store for you. So a little non-traditional start there to the Corvus Cast. The place where the host isn't particularly attractive, the jokes aren't funny, and we just make things up anyways. So um, this getting set up on YouTube is really weird. When I hit play, it just plays, and so I have to be really careful about how I do the setup because before I have an opportunity to get things kind of moving in the right direction relatively easily. So um, if you're joining in this week and you're new attendee, I appreciate you. If you're a returning attendee, I also appreciate you. Please do me a solid, drop some messages down here in the chat and let me know that you're here. We have chat now this week. I don't know what happened last week or why there was no chat, but we got chat now. So I'm really excited about that. Um, thank you again. Um, yeah, so this week has been kind of crazy. There's been a lot of stuff going on, and to be honest with you, I don't really have a ton of updates because all of the updates were kind of done last at the last cast, and I had a surprise. So if you're in my Discord and you saw what the surprise was, I put out some teaser pics of it last over the course of this week. It's due to arrive, and I don't really have it in hand because it was supposed to be here on Friday, and it's not here. And so the material content that I had, which was me, which was going to be me trying out new combinations of this new part that I have prototyped, is it fell through, unfortunately. And so I'm a little sad about that, but the show must go on, and so we'll do some other things. Last year, when I was working through making a whole bunch of different parts, everybody was asking me, when are you going to make pommels? When are you going to make emitters? When are you going to do all these things? Well, I guess this is probably the year to try and go after those things now. And so for the last week, I've kind of been going through ideas for pommels and different things. But before I get onto that in this kind of let's design portion of it, I do want to talk about, I guess, some stuff that I've been working on. So you may see some changes on the website. You may see some adjustments to like how items are named or the naming conventions for those items. And the big reason for that is because I've been working through some search engine optimization guidance to try and get better hits on a lot of the parts, a lot of these items, so people can see that I'm a vendor of VHC compatible parts. And so I've been working on that, and that's been trying, I'll be honest with you, because there are a lot of VHC vendors out there that are capitalizing on this stuff, and it's kind of hard to get visibility sometimes. I think the highest I've gotten on a couple of searches has been like second page. And so I'm pretty happy with that, where that's at, and the more hits and the more visits and the more things that I change, the better that's going to look. So it's getting better, and so the better visibility we get, the better customer base we can build up, and the more parts that I can produce for you. So again, thank you for patronizing my business and bringing your money to Corvus Saber Foundry so that we can build parts together. Let's see. I guess really, honestly, there's not a lot to talk about, but I guess I'll just go into my philosophy here um, on the next steps, I suppose. So this next couple of months is going to be focused on bringing some additional new parts out, and I'm going to try and pepper the parts distribution with some familiar parts. And so my plan is to bring out a new part and bring out an old part and then bring out a new part and then start kind of bringing out like two parts at once. That is one older style part and one newer style part. So like for example, we talked about brass accent rings. I really would like to bring out brass accent rings at some point, and I don't know when that's going to happen, but I'll be looking at the sales data from the older stuff, in the aluminum items. I think there's a pretty clear winner. It's always been like the rounded one that we had, not the perfectly round one, but like the ovalized one. For whatever reason, that one sold really, really well. So that might be among the first brass rings to be made. But it's definitely in my radar to get some brass rings made this year. It's just finding the right manufacturer. I think my manufacturer can do it, but I was looking at trying to bring some stuff back to the U.S. Yes, I use a Chinese manufacturer for most of my stuff, but trying to bring some stuff back to the U.S. and that's been harder than I thought it would be. There's not a lot of companies that want to look at me. Everybody wants to do aerospace or hydraulics or pneumatics or something like that. So it's a little bit difficult. So I guess that piece, and there's been some reluctance for me to go after some like the bigger parts and components like emitters and pommels, because I think that there are a lot of those out now in the system, and I don't know if what I have to offer is going to be any better or really honestly any different, other than just adding more variety to an already pretty populated area. And so I thought it was kind of fun to fill up that middle space. But now that we've gotten a lot farther along, I feel it's a disservice to my system not to produce those things. And so I think over the course of this year, I'm going to start going at getting emitters and pommels generated. I've already got one emitter that I know that I want to push, which is like an Obi-Wan or a Luke styled emitter. You guys have seen that in the way that it's formatted, and I think that it goes really well with some of these other parts that I'm working on producing this year. So I guess getting to that point is going to be the challenge, getting over that hump. I know at the beginning of the year, everybody's recovering from Christmas and the Christmas monies that they put out for their families. So it's usually pretty slow until about May. And then after May, all the way the run up to Christmas, it's a little bit quicker. So it might be slow starting off. We'll go with some smaller projects, I think, going forward. But for the most part, I'm trying to keep my foot on the gas and aggressively continue to grow the part selection so that you guys have the coolest lightsabers in the galaxy. Yeah, if I don't know, I haven't seen, I can't see. I got my chat view blocking my stream view, so I can't see everybody who's on here. And I'm just talking away, prattling on about this stuff. I got one person viewing, so thank you, one viewer. I know who you are. I appreciate you. We'll just go ahead and get into it, and I'll start chatting and shooting the breeze while we work on doing some design work. So I'm gonna go ahead and minimize my stupid face and squish it down here to the bottom. Oop, it looks like we've already got some design work that's been going on. So earlier this week, actually I guess for the last like 2 weeks, it's been really hard to get into the work mindset here. I've been transitioning a new job and into a new career actually. So I'm moving out of an old job and into a new job, and that transition, I'm training my replacement at the same time, and I'm also adding another hat on and working for helping another guy who's having some medical issues right now. And so I was at one point last week, I was like 5 or 6 hatting. I was all of my normal work jobs, that ends up being 4 things: husband and kid and father, and then trying to run this business, like 6 hats all at the same time. It's just too much to balance, and I had to put some stuff on the burner. So the business was kind of moving along in a pretty okay fashion, and I wasn't too worried about anything. And so I just kind of coasted for about a week and a half while I was getting everything back on track. And so I'm now firmly into my new job, and I have some training that's going on this week. And so for the next couple of weeks, I should be able to allocate a lot more resources to just doing stuff. And so what you kind of see in front of you here is two pommels. I've already started working on a couple of designs here, just playing around. And you can see here that this follows a lot of the same format of what I've messed around with in the past, which is the 33 millimeter thread boss into something else, right? So this is the normal thread boss here that you would see on my parts with a little bit of a dip and a curve, and then this. But one thing of note is that this outer diameter here is just a little bit bigger. It's 36.5 or so, 36.55 millimeters, and that size is important because my philosophy on pommels is they should not be the same diameter as the body of your lightsaber. They shouldn't even be the same diameter as any of the sleeves or items that go in between either. So, and the reason for that is at least in my brain, a lightsaber is a sword or a sword pommel, and therefore there should be something to grab a hold of on the bottom of that so it doesn't slip from your grasp going forward, right? And so that is basically my design philosophy for these. So if I were to grab some parts, you would see that size difference between the 33 millimeter parts and the 36.5 millimeter parts. And this is actually really designed to go well with a ring. So like the accent rings that we have in production. So if I brought out, let's just drag this guy out here. You see how it's almost the same diameter there. It's designed to add that kind of depth there at the back end of your lightsaber so that you have a really nice pommel space where your hand won't slip off of it, right? So the accent rings here are, they're actually 36.1 millimeters, so the pommel is just a little bit bigger, and I don't think that that's that big of a diameter difference, so I might end up bumping out the size on this closer to like 38, or I'm sorry, it's at 37 or 37.1, just to give it an extra couple of millimeters of diameter. It's like a half a millimeter diameter on both ends, just so you have that size difference on the end of your saber for point of reference or whatever it is that you want. But at least it's my philosophy that your pommel should be one of the larger diameter parts so that it is a nice stopping point for your hand. Otherwise, no pommel means your saber is going to slip out, and that's part of what the rings were too, was a register point, right, for your fingers. So if you had a pommel that was, I'm trying to find a pommel in here that I've got. I can't seem to locate the one that I want. I think it's the Solstice pommel. Basically, it's literally just a straight backed with a chamfer on it and a flat bottom. And if you don't have something to stop your finger, your hand's just going to slide straight out of that or straight off of that pommel, and you could lose your lightsaber or whatever. And so, mentally, in that brain space, your pommel should be a little bit bigger. And so we're going to launch in. I was kind of experimenting with some shapes here just to see what I could get away with for a speaker section. I kind of like that one. It looks pretty neat, but I don't know how feasible it is for the shop to machine it effectively. We'll have to look at it a little bit and see. But really what I wanted to do was, so I don't know if you guys have seen it before, but there are some vendors and some saber guys that use this type of disc. It's like it's a mesh disc that goes inside, and they make them in 1 inch and 1.5 inch, but they don't make them in 1 1/4 inch. And I can't seem to find them at that range. That's why the alloy build is made with the weave strap. Yeah, I got you. So I've been looking at options for what that speaker mesh should look like, and I like this. I kind of like this look. It looks kind of swarzy, but there are other guys, other sabersmiths who have used kind of a mesh down here on the bottom that has a really nice look to it. It looks really completed. And I'm trying to find a way to get that as an insert so you could just drop it into your saber and then tighten on, and it does the thing that you want it to do. So I haven't gotten to that point yet, but at some point I will. I need to grab a quick drink. It's been a long day of talking and stuff. So anyways, yeah, I'm gonna work through that and figure out that piece, but I wanted to kind of show these ones off. These are some early initial ones, and I've got some other designs kind of cooking up in here in the noodle. I need to turn my phone on really quick to get to one of the Pommel examples, and I don't want to put it up in chat or anything. I just want to get a picture of it up so that I can get it in my brain and start working on it. Just give me a second here. Guess that could work. Man, it's been a heck of a week. I'm not even sure that I'm up to doing this cast, to be honest with you, but I'm trying to stay motivated and trying to stay on top of this so that you guys have some good content. And it has been a trying couple of weeks, I'll tell you what. Let's see, what do we got here? I'm trying to find one. Sorry for the pause there. Here we go. That'll work. Got a couple of pictures here. That'll do. All right, let's get into launching one of these. This is the Type 2.1. It's not really that great, and it's still kind of rough. Or I'm sorry, this is the Type 2. Let's go ahead and make a new design, and we'll start working on Type 3 just to play around with it. And anybody that's watching that thinks they're going to get any sort of insider information out of what I'm doing here, you might be sorely mistaken, because I have a very rudimentary skill set when it comes to doing work on Fusion 360. So if you see me doing something wrong or something badly, or say, hey, there's a better way to do that, just do me a favor, drop a link for a video for that particular thing down below or in the chat, and I'll do my best to go watch that video so I don't have to bore you again in the future for this stuff. So let's do this. Let's do this at 36.55 again. We're gonna drop this right here into space. Finish that sketch. Extrude it out. So, you know, as a pommel, I don't know how big I want this to be. This is kind of a shorty. It's meant to be a short one, but we'll see how far that one is. That's only 11 millimeters. That's not very big in the grand scheme of things. This length here is right about 16. Let's do that. Let's go for 16 here. Let's go for 16. You know what? Let's just shoot 20. We'll see how that goes. Bam. We'll do it. Pop that one over there at 31. We'll run this out. I'm not really constraining these. I've heard that I should be doing constraints, and to be totally honest with you, I'm not exactly sure how to do that right offhand. But as I understand it, adding constraints to it will allow me to resize it and make it different kind of throughout that process, so that it doesn't just do all the same things, you know. That doesn't like adjust something or cause, like if you make a circle on one of these faces and you move that face, well then you're gonna shift where that point is, but the circle will stay in the place that you made it based on where the face was previously. So you'll have, like, if you extrude that hole, or you extrude it to make a hole, then now you're going to close that hole back in. It just, I guess, makes it really difficult to do work if you don't constrain your stuff. So that might explain why I suck at this. So, oh man, you gotta laugh at yourself sometimes. Sometimes you're good, sometimes you're not good. That's all there is to it. So that is a system number there, that 2 1/4, which is basically the depth of all of our accent rings, and that the shim-cert area of the accent rings, right? And so, you know, I want to make sure that I get that allocated correctly so that we have a nice look, a nice fit for those accent rings when we start using them. That's 27. Let's go there. That's about how far I want it to go. We'll add another circle back here. We'll do 29. Oops. Well, just a second. We'll finish that one. I have a tendency to skip that finish circle step, and what ends up happening, or finish whatever that drawing is, and when that happens, it makes it really difficult to go back and find where that is located at, because you have both the circle and the extrusion. And so basically what you're saving is that cylindrical extrusion behind the thing. Hey, welcome Ron, appreciate you showing up. Just working through here. I was just talking about the pommels that I'm working on making right now. So These pommels are kind of a new development that I've decided to start coming up with in the last few weeks, um, to add some dimension to this project in the hopes that they'll end up enhancing what we've got as opposed to just being another addition, right? And so they're really designed for interaction with the ring set, so the accent rings and accent shrouds, or excuse me, accent bands, maybe even accent caps if you wanted them to be. At some point, we'll get to there, but a little bit of water. Keep the throat working. Phrasing. I guess I gotta go phrasing on that one. Yeah, I messed up the dimension on this one. I gotta take it to 7 really quick. There we go. All right, we got the foundation of this piece here. So I think that we're gonna cut. I think we're gonna cut a swath on that thing. We're gonna bump that down just a bit here. We're gonna do 2. We're gonna do a shape here on this portion that's kind of like that. We'll just drop it down there. It might be a little bit too much. Bring it up just a smidge. And we're going to revolve that around. I know what I want to do. Just look at how that goes. Might be a little bit too much. I think we're gonna work this back just a little bit. Let's do this. Yeah, I'll pull that back just a bit. Make sure we retain that 2 1/4. And we got to make this a little bit deeper too. Whoops. I wasn't paying attention to what I sized that, so I got to take it back 3 more millimeters. Everything shuffled down 3 millimeters. And I guess what I could have done was just grab this press pull mechanism and give it a little bit of growth in the backwards direction, but it didn't really do what I wanted it to do. I wasn't quite there yet. Let's pull this up a couple more steps here. Okay. We're going to do that, and I should duplicate that on the end, I think. Or not. I don't know. We'll see. See what size we made that thing. It's 110 or 1.10 millimeters long. That's an awful weird number. Let's bring it up a smidge. Just make it 1 millimeter. You know what? I'm really ham-fisting this right now. Okay, let's do it again. Let's do that one. Let's give that a shake. Yeah, I like it. Okay. I think we're gonna fillet this edge down a bit here. Okay, a lot. I'm torn on that one, whether I want to do that. I like it. I think it looks good. It's gonna be kind of weird because it's just not quite long enough. So let's just extend that a little bit. Another millimeter or so. Now kind of going past the end of the plane like I don't really like to, but well, I guess we'll be all right there. Let's bring that in here. I don't know if I like that or not. I think we'll make it. I think we can make it work. Let's stick with it. Let's do what we can here. Okay, we got that. Got that. Just so you're aware, I also like the rounded bottom. Sorry. I am what I am. It is what it is. That's not terrible looking. I think that's decent. Let me extrude that back just a bit, and we're gonna add a little bit down here. This is what we're gonna do, and we'll play around with this just a bit here. It's 18. Yeah, I like it. I think I like it. Let's do this really quick. Let's extrude that back just a bit from that back edge there. Too far. That's too far. Let's go this way just a little bit. One less. I think that looks pretty saucy. I'm about to throw this one up though. Hang on a second. Let's do. I'm about to turn my machine into soup here really quick because we're gonna do this. All right, so I got that. We're gonna round that one too, just a little bit, and we might work on a little button here. Just drop this in. Whoops, not that one. Dump that one in. And I think I'm not going to design it here because it's a little complicated for this setting, but I'm gonna do sound venting holes in this space in here, so that it'll allow it to flow outward. Yeah. Let's look at this really quick. I'm not sure I'm such a fan of that yet. It's not 100% there, but it doesn't look bad. It's not terrible. Let's look at what this one is. Let's see if we can edit that again. So because this occurs earlier in the timeline than that setback that I did, when we do this, it will not reference that setback that I just dropped. So we'll see how that comes out. We're gonna do this though. I gotta specify what plane. No, I don't want that. I want a line. Get out of here. I want that plane, and I need this right here. Not deep enough. Phrasing? Not there yet. Let's try that. That's really small. That is less than 20 millimeters. It's like 0.20 millimeters. That's pretty small. I don't even know if that's going to register on this thing, to be honest with you. Wazoo, I think there's going to be some sound egress in that center hole. I'm actually looking at, so From my time as a jet engine mechanic, I learned about a couple of things, and specifically how air and sound moves through jet engines in convergent and divergent um, nozzles. And so one of the things I've been looking at is a way to make a venturi for sound to travel through that enhances the bass of your lightsaber and cuts down on the tinniness of these small speakers that we have. And so I need to figure out which direction to point that so that we get that. And I think that it has to do with a tighter convergence and to a larger divergent section versus the other way around, where a large section will bring like all the sound waves together and then poke them out, almost like a kazoo. Let's call it a kazoo. It's kind of like a kazoo, except without the reed. And so I'm working on something like that, designing it into the pommels so that you get better sound out of it. I'm not there yet. I have to figure out which one's going to work, and I do some experiments with it. But I have a friend or two that does 3D printing, and so I'll be working on that as well. But to answer your question, yes, the central portion here of the pommel would have some sound egress parts, some sound egress ports here, and then sound egress ports in this secondary ring as well, and probably some holes around this outside portion too to help disperse that sound out, right? And so we'll see how it goes. I'm not 100% certain that it's going to be successful, but we'll give it a shot and see what works, right? I am gonna expand that just a little bit, and I'm actually going to pull that up just a skosh, just off of it, so that when I do that, it does not score the underneath one. Okay, we got that. I need to extrude it a little bit, make a body. Got your body. And grab a pattern, make it circular. Let's do that. I got that body that I want to move, and I need to select an axis. We're going to do that. And now I got 3. I don't know how many I want to do. Let's go up to 100. That's not a lot. 200. It's getting warmer. 225. My computer's about to explode. I hope you know that. It's going to die. Oh, shoot. This is going to be really bad. All right. I've got all of those. Let's see if I can select all of these. And we're going to extrude all the way through to that plane. Is it going to do it? It might be thinking. I'm not sure. Let's see. Is it going to do it? It's not. Okay, we're going to try that again. Let's extrude. We're going to change that to those profiles. I want to select those profiles. Oh, you're going to do that to me? Now I'm looking ridiculous. All right, I don't know why it's not letting me select it. And I can't really select all of these at once for some reason or another. Absolutely not, sir. Yeah, it's not letting me select all of them and do what I want to do with them, which is extrude them. You know what? Let's do this instead. I got a better idea. I think I remember what I did wrong. I'm going to do this. Yeah, we're going to do this way. We're going to cut it. Yep. Here's where the computer destruction is going to happen. We're going to do, okay, we're going to do a pattern, circular pattern. Man, I just fumbled through this really badly, didn't I? All right, I got one object selected. I want to do this axis like I always do. Woo, there we go. Okay, that's going to cut all of those. And we're going to optimize that so it's nice and clean. And we're going to let this compute for just a second. And boom. Now we have some knurling. And that's kind of cool. That's really cool looking. I like that. Picasso. There you go. What do you think about that one? It's not too bad. Let's go back a step or two here, and we're going to go to here. Let's do that. Let me capture that really quick. I'm going to put in a chamfer. Whoop, that's not what I wanted. Get out of here. I'm going to chamfer these edges just a smidge. And we're going to work them back just a little bit there. Let's go. Let's go. No red. Okay. 2.25. Let's try that. 2.5. Shapoopy. And we'll swing this back forward. Thinking, thinking, thinking. Bam. There we go. Look at that. Okay. Man, I like that. That looks pretty good. Oh yeah. I think we're cooking. We're talking about cooking shows earlier today, and I think that might have just cooked, dude. I really like that look. That looks good. Oh, that's good stuff. We're going to rotate another one of these really quick. Get a little bit more shape here and something to play around with. All right, I'm not too far away there. Okay, okay. Things are starting to shape up. Man, I like that. That's sharp. That's a lot more than I thought that was. 0.25. Let's do that. Oh yeah, that's a good look. I like it. Okay, I'm gonna do a quick wireframe really fast and look through. See what it do. Looks like there's just, I think, 1 millimeter there. Yeah, I think 1 millimeter there. To be totally honest with you, I don't think that the shape of the sound chamber down here is all that nice to get sound into where that channel is. So I think I'm going to expand that circle in the bottom just a little bit, and I think that's going to make it look pretty darn good. Just give me a second here. Get out of this wireframe nonsense. Oop. Hang on a minute. All right, shaded visual edges. Let's go find that one. Where'd that go? I guess you guys like it, huh? I need this. I need that one. Where's that circle at? Well, see, I did it again. Here's the thing that I did. So I made the circle, and then I immediately extruded it, which makes me really mad because now I have to figure out how to make it mo bigger. And I guess, I guess like is not a strong enough word for that part, for this part here, which I'm really happy with. I think that's a good indicator that people like my stuff. tell me how much you like it. No, seriously, tell me. I need that shit. Pardon me. I need that stuff. I'm trying to get this as close as I can to... Nope, too far. Too real for you. 74. That's how you're going to get it. 74. That's all you get. All right, this one isn't quite as accurate or fun to do here, but we're going to play around and see if we can figure out how to make the correct sized circles for this in this space. I'm not going to make circles, though. I'm going to make something else just because I don't do things halfway. I'm going to put a channel around this that I think I like a lot. And I did it on that last one that you saw. So we're just going to go like that. Not sure how far this is going to be here. That's 1, 2, 3 off of center. Here we go. 2, 4, 2.4. Let's see here. Maybe I can make a fool out of myself doing this. I learned this trick the other day. I thought that it was pretty stinking cool. But I see that the problem we have here is that these are not, I don't think they're in the same arc. So we might have to play around just a little bit. Let's do a line. I need a line. I need that surface. I need an arc. We're going to do a center point arc. Yeah, center point arc. Set the center. Set the outer arc. And we're going to draw this thing all the way over this way. See, I messed up. I made a mistake. Oh, it set it automatically. Did it do it? No, it didn't do it automatically. It wants to, though. Here we go. That's pretty close. I like to say close enough for government work, but I work for the government, so. All right, let's do another line. Gosh, I keep getting in the phrasing. Let's draw another arc. How's that sound? Oh, that's not the right one. That went too far. Okay. Do another center point here, another center point here, another center point there. Bing, bang, boom. Okay. Not sure how big. Ah, yes, that's very lovely. Let's do it. Now we can see actually how deep that is. It's 2.25 millimeters. Let's take that back to 1. That should be 1.25. Okay. Okay, so there we got a really nice, it's not really nice. I don't want to go say really nice, but it's kind of nice base for the pommel there for sound egress out of this space. So that's pretty okay. I think what I really want to do is I want to put like sound holes, like accent holes that push through to the inside. Yeah, there you go. Eidolon, push it through and make it an emitter for sure. Yeah, that can happen. What I think I want to do is put accent holes that come through here into that inner diameter, right? But the thing is that inner diameter is right basically there. And so without some finagling here, let me see if I can do this. Let's do that. We're going to draw. I don't really get to do this very often, but we're going to construct a tangent plane on this face. That's not the face I wanted. I want that face. I want a tangent plane on that face. Why are we doing that? No. I guess it's not going to let me do that. Save this version as is. Oh, I can just take it back. It's not that big a deal. I can revert it back. And once I have the holes in, it'll be down here in the bottom as a step. And I'll show you what I'm talking about really quick. It's not going to be like terrible. I don't think it's going to be terrible looking. But we'll get to that point. It will be terrible, I promise. All right, plane at an angle. Let's do this. How am I trying to get this line set? I don't want that. Man, this is really frustrating. Okay. I guess I have not done a lot of use. I haven't done a lot of work on this with the planes. I've done tangent planes, but for whatever reason, I can't catch that radius as a plane to put a a part on. And that's kind of frustrating because I want to build at an angle. I'm not sure why it's not letting me do that. I guess it's my relative lack of knowledge with how these items work, which is a little frustrating for me. But I guess we'll figure it out at some point. I guess you're gonna get it saved the way that it is. Yeah. So let's just I guess while we have it here, we'll play around with this a little bit and see what kind of things we can do with it. I'm actually going to put those holes in this space as we talked about previously. Let's go 2 millimeters. What size do we want? 3 millimeters? Let's do that. Catch that, make it another pattern, circular. I don't have a face, hang on. I need to make it a face, or I need to make it a part first before it lets me do anything else. All right, that's a new body. Creating a pattern, circular, we'll go on this axis here. That's too many. Lord have mercy. Pardon. There was an error. Something happened. It's not happy. Why is it doing that? Let's figure it out. Pattern it again. Circular. Let's go. Axis. Why did it do 8? I want 8 of them. That's it. Just give me 8. That's all I'm asking. Bodies. Is that the problem I had? It's trying to do a body? What did I do on this extrude here? I know what I did. I joined it. Stupid. That's why it failed. It was looking for a body. I set it to look for a body, and it wasn't a new body. It was a joined portion of the previous part. So that's why it failed. Just to let you guys know, root cause analysis, user error. Okay, so now you see it's selected for bodies. You select the object. We select the axis. Bingo bango. It still wants to do 250 even though I set it to 8. Garbo. We're going to punch these holes out the bottom of it. Not far enough yet. There we go. And now we have the bottom part of the emitter, or excuse me, the palm emitter. Now we have the bottom part for better sound exit. I don't know if I care for that, to be totally honest with you. I don't know if I care for that. I think it looks stupid. Let's go back. Let's do this instead. We're going to grab the inside of this, and we're going to talk about that thing that I talked about before, which is, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. In fact, you're pretty well on the money. That you have to have some sound pressure to be able to act on those sound waves, right? I should say you have to have some air pressure to be able to make sound waves. That's what you want. Too much air pressure, it's not good for sound. Too little, not good for sound. It has to be just right. And I don't know if this is going to be just right, but I'm goofing around here. We're going to make this thing, and I'm going to add this a little bit in here to stand up a bit, right? And I think that this is going to be important because I want to, I'm actually going to extrude that a little further. This one's going to be an interesting one because it wants to something like that. So we're talking about that convergent divergent shape, and it should feed sound waves through that hole, which is important, right? We want to get sound to go through there, but try this, see if I can get closer. I don't know if this really matters that much, to be totally honest with you, but I'm thinking if you have that convergent or divergent shape down there at the bottom, it's going to help funnel that sound out instead of rebounding it back at itself, right? Because you have that big flat piece. And so if you can push it out to the sides just a little bit and kind of shape this into a funnel, you're going to get better sound through the saber. Okay, I can see that's going to be a problem. I can see we're going to have a problem. And we kind of put a little bit of that chamfer there on the interior portion of that wall as well, so that it feeds that airflow down there. A little bit of science in every broadcast. The principle that we're talking about is Bernoulli's principle. When you have a convergent space, the airflow will tend to accelerate and speed through that gap. And so you should have a requisite expansion on the other side of it, which we don't actually have, but we kind of do in the shape of this. And so it's not the same size, It's just a little bit smaller, I guess, in angle, but it will kind of feed the same purpose as it will slow that air pressure that's leaving down, so that it's not going as fast anymore, and hopefully change the sound as it's coming out. And my hope is that maybe I'll change sabering with this. Who knows? That's ridiculous. But one last thing I want to put on here, which I think is going to be cool and fun, and it's going to be this. Put this gap here. You know what? I think that 6 could make it. It's pretty close. Let's go 4. We're gonna go that. We're gonna go that. We're gonna do this. We're gonna put a thread in it, and now you're gonna have a spot to put your D-rings. Beep bop boop. This cast is over with. I'm out. Just kidding. Just kidding. I do look at the clock and see that it is 8:55, which is pretty late here for me on the cast, and so I think that I'm gonna leave the cast with this, a new pommel design that will probably be seen here in the next couple of months. Let me just grab some stuff and start throwing things out here and playing around with it. Let's grab a couple of rings. I got this divider ring. What's this ring do? What's that one? What this? Yeah, you could get away with that one, I think. Yeah. Let's delete that out of there. Let's grab the stop ring. Ooh, I like that one. This one's going to be a good one. Yes. Yes. Yep. Now, the stop ring is just a little bit wider than it, and that's okay. But I still think that looks stupid good. That looks really good. I'm not... I don't know if I've been as happy as I am with what this pommel looks like, and I think that I'm really happy with this. I think this looks really good. Let me throw a Type 5 out here really quick. A Type 5 body. And I might expand these knurls just a little bit. They look like they're really tight. That's a lot of knurls and a lot of action. I might expand that just a little bit, make it a little bit more. So we put that stop ring on one end, put another stop ring on the other end. Let's do that. I got too many categories for my accent rings and for my items here. This actually isn't the stop ring. This is the Type 14.7 or something. I don't know what it is. I should know my parts better than this, but it's one of the ones that I released. I think it's a Type 5 or Type 6 maybe. I don't know. I don't recall. But there you go. You got like the beginnings of a really cool pommel on attached to a grip there. If I throw in another adapter or some sort between this and a switch section, you kind of have something decent looking, I guess. Let's grab a 2.1. Could put another adapter in. You could put something else on there. It doesn't really matter, but you get the gist. You get the gist of it. I might make this a little bit bigger. I might expand that just a smidge outward to what is that hidden in there? What is that? What is that little gem? Oh, it's the switch. God, I'm stupid. I keep doing that. I don't move it the correct amount of distance to get it out of that space, and I don't click the OK button to snap it, and it snaps back when I start doing other dumb stuff. Excuse me. So that is, I guess, the beginning of more complicated parts. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. I'm happy with that. I think that looks really good. Go ahead and get these out of here. One of these days we'll have this stuff. Oh man, that Type 5 was deep in there, huh? That's why. That's why it wasn't in the right spot. Yeah, there you go. A little bit closer to what it should have been. Yeah, I like that. It looks really good. So I've got some other designs that I want to do and push with this knurling. Not just this knurling, but other types of knurling, like the diamond cut knurl, um, and maybe some like waffle cut knurling, maybe on something. Probably not on these ones. These look better. I think that these types of pommels look a lot better with this straight knurling or a waffle cut or diamond cut knurl. And the diamond cut knurl is a little bit more difficult to pull off on a live stream because I'm not that good at it yet. But I can do a straight knurl pretty decently. And so I just need to figure out what size here fits best. And so I might go back in and just kind of dink around with this circular pattern and change it from like 250 to 225 and see what that does. Or let's go 180. And that opens it up just a little bit so it doesn't feel so aggressive, right? So tight. I think that actually looks a lot like a camera, like what camera knurling looks like on the knobs and switches and stuff. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right. Talk just a little bit about the stuff that's going on and the disappointment we experienced this week at over the lack of arrival of parts. And my hope is to show you guys that stuff over the course of the next week once it comes in. I would bet that I would be able to show it to you by next weekend. There might be like a special live cast that goes on that. And I also recognize too, over the course of this last week, I was talking to a couple of folks, and there's a lot of people out there that don't understand what VHC is still. And I guess I don't understand that. It's been around for quite a while, but there's still people new coming in to sabering. And so what I might end up doing is making a couple of videos here in the cellar at the Corvus household, and put some of those things up on the Shopify site, and then also on the YouTube site, so you guys can see what we're talking about. But there are a wealth of those videos already out there, so I don't understand why I would need to put one out specifically about VHC. Probably just about my system, or maybe one about VHC and one about my system that talks about it. I've got a couple of FAQs that I added to the webpage for that stuff too. But either way, I've had a great time with you tonight. I really appreciate those of you who decided to come out. I've always enjoyed doing these casts, and I really enjoy designing these things on screen with you guys. I see the excitement that you guys have for my parts, so I'm going to keep doing it, and my hopes is that you keep buying them. So I want to say thank you again. I really appreciate you. If you have not stopped by the Discord, you should. That's where I show everybody all my new stuff before anybody else gets to see them. So if you don't have Discord, you should get Discord. And if you're not on the channel with the murder, you should get on the channel with the murder, because we do a lot of chatter there about new parts. And everything that you guys talk about wanting, I usually try to make something for you. So I might put out like a survey or something in the next week and say, hey, what kind of new parts do you guys want me to design? And the next cast we will address some of those parts, perhaps, if they're not super complicated. If you guys want like mall emitters or things like that, I'm not that good at those things, but we can probably figure it out and get there sooner rather than later, probably. So anyways, again, my name's Tim. This was the Corvus Cast. I'm going to go ahead and say out for the weekend. Catch you guys later.